It will not be fair for me to talk very long. But I must say, everybody seems to have enjoyed, isn't it? Yeah, that's good. So can we clap for... Was the nickname Tony?
Tony is also my name.
Oh, it was also your name, not just a nickname. Yeah, we're grateful to have that. I'm sure those of us in our 60s or 70s can also tell you in our time, we used to have jokes and people used to laugh. The only difference I've noted is jokes this time are always at somebody's expense. I don't know your generation has a problem, because I know if you came to a primary school or my high school, we used to have a Saturday, like when I was at Alliance, we used to call it Saturday PM. And we always made jokes. People laughed, but never at somebody's expense. But these days, you can never see, you listen to this guy who is on Sunday even, what is he called? Church Your Life. It's always at somebody's. You people have lacked creativity to the extent that unless I make fun of Tony, I cannot make you laugh. Have you noted that?
Yes.
We really need to challenge Churchill. It must be possible to say something people laugh at nobody's expense. I think it is very, very shallow thinking to think that you must embarrass somebody for others to laugh. Have you seen even in a wedding? You find somebody is the MC and the mother-in-law is coming. And he starts making fun. Now, the next one to talk to us is the mother-in-law. Look at the way she has eaten. Now, what do you think will happen to that? Have you seen that in weddings? Making fun. What do you think that woman will remember about her daughter's wedding? It is how she was embarrassed. And then these MCs are paid very highly to embarrass your mother. It's a very serious matter. So that's not my topic today. But I thought because you have laughed very much, is to remind you, let's look at a way of laughing at nobody's expense. And it's possible. Do you agree it's possible? But it requires more thinking. You know, it's possible to just take Marion and say, look at how short Marion is. Then we all laugh. Marion goes thinking, what? How could Nganga make fun of me? Now, it's not. I don't think it's the right way. Really, and I talk about this everywhere I go. I want to talk to young people. I'm not very old myself. I'm only 65. But I want to talk to young people that it is possible to change this country where you can make people laugh without doing it at anybody's expense. What we are discussing today is how to go through life irrespective of the giants you meet on the way. The good thing is that Tony has told us we are giants. So if a giant meets a giant, it should be able to handle, isn't it? And I want us to see that message in the book of Psalms 23, because I think Psalms 23 deals with the psalmist going through various challenges. It begins with, the Lord is my shepherd. And then we'll just pick the subjects the psalmist deals with, just in seeing what he is trying to tell us. He starts by saying, if the Lord is your shepherd, you will not want. What that means, and I think he is talking about want. When I was used to use King James in the 1960s, the other versions were not very popular. I used to use King James. And so you read the Bible, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I thought it meant, I don't want. When the new versions came, is when I understood. It's not that I don't want, it's I will not need. So the question is, why not say so? But that's King James English. We are learning that if the Lord is your shepherd, you always have what you need. In other words, there will be enough. You'll be able to deal with whatever shortages are there. And it's a very important lesson to learn that it is possible to have contentment irrespective of the condition you happen to be in at any one time. And I think that's what the psalmist wants, that if the Lord is your shepherd, you shall not be in want. God will provide. That doesn't mean you'll be rich or poor. But whatever stage you happen to be in, you'll be satisfied. I've written a book called The Secret Contentment. And the reason I wrote it is because when I left the university in the mid-1970s, I went to work for a Paraceto bank. And then I thought we were being paid very well. Until Shell, a manager in Shell rang me, trying to poach me to join Shell. And I was so happy in where I was working in the bank that I kind of resisted. And he had to work to convince me. So when I finally went to see, those days HR people are called personnel managers in the 1970s, I went and told him that I just took my salary, multiplied by 2, and I told him I wanted to double the salary so that he can leave me alone. I was enjoying what I was doing. He told me, young man, I can handle that. Then he started talking about medical. At that age, do you care about medical? so he's talking about that. After some time, I realized he's talking about all the other things Cheryl gives. I said, sir, did you hear the salary I want? He said, young man, didn't I tell you I can handle that? And sure enough, the following week, I got the letter of appointment, and it actually had the double my salary. And I said, what? You mean there are people we left with the university, and they are working like me, and they are earning double my salary? I was happy and unhappy at the same time. So when I went there and I found some of the guys who used to be in the university, I kept wondering, I wouldn't admit to them the kind of salary I was getting. And I kept asking, surely, are they aware that they are earning double the salary of many other people in the town? But what surprised me within the first 6 months is how unhappy people were in Shell. And what was their major thing? They are in want. Remember, the psalmist is saying, I shall not be in want. They are in want. We are so underpaid. I said, either they have a new dictionary meaning for the word underpaid. They cannot be talking about being underpaid. But I realized they simply are totally unhappy. And that's when I came to a conclusion. Contentment is a secret. If it was easy, these people would be happy. They would be contented. In other words, you can be the most beautiful girl, but somebody tells you you are ugly, and you believe them. Yet you have a mirror at home to look at yourself, but you believe the wrong story. So you stay there thinking nobody can marry me. After all, given my condition, who can marry me? And if a boy comes your way and even proposes, you feel like it's a privilege. What you don't know is she's dying to marry you. Now, but it all has to do with you haven't understood yourself, like Tony was saying. And so in the end, you live like you don't have what you actually have. And I thought even this year, you have gone through such challenges where you think you don't have, and actually, you have. And I want you to go through the year and say, in which times have I been a discontented person, but if I was to be honest, I am actually not as bad as I think I am. And so I thought, whenever you read the psalm is saying, if the Lord is your shepherd, you shall never be in want. Please understand that whatever God gives you, is possible to be contented with it. That doesn't mean you'll not get more, but you can be contented. In fact, when I did my first year, when we went for the staff appraisal, and I already thought I was earning more, and you see my boss now got the file. He asked me, John, why are they paying you so little? Remember, I doubled my salary. What I didn't know is that double my salary was still too little. He said, I must talk to a personnel manager. How can they pay you so little? So I had to get an adjustment because I was actually being paid the starting salary of a graduate in Shell, which was double the salary where I was working. So I thought I was being paid much until my boss told me, you are not earning much. But I was really happy with what I was earning. So I want to tell you, many of the things that cause you sleepless nights are because you are always thinking of something else. And you know something? If you are tall, and everybody calls you tall in your village, you will join Pacific and people will be calling you short. Because there is somebody taller. You need to understand that when you have no car, you really look forward to having a car and driving to church in a car. Or only to drive to church, and when you are just about to park, somebody will left university with you, parks a Mercedes, and yours is a VW. And all of a sudden you want to ask your family, can we park outside? Because you don't want to arrive, and your classmate and you arrive at the same time. Yet when you left home, you are excited that for the first time you are going to church in a car. Am I communicating? Yes. So you do not even enjoy the car, because now your problem is not having a car, is the type of car you actually have. My friend, many people do not enjoy their job, do not enjoy their families because of that. Results have just come out for KCPE. Your son got 400. And 400 is one of the highest in the country. Only to be talking about how well your son has done, you come to work and Gadua's son has 420. All of a sudden, you go home and tell your wife, you think our son has done well? My workmate has 420. From then onwards, you don't even buy a gift for your son because he has now done well. Is it true he has not done well? No. So I thought as we talk about this year and the giants we face, the first person to deal with is yourself. You know, some of those things are quite a big lie. For example, a car. If you are going with you to Nakuru and you are driving a Vitz and I'm driving a Mercedes, do you know we are driving Nakuru at the same time? Unless one of us is corrupt. Because a Vitz can drive at 150 according to the engine, comfortably. But the government of Kenya says you are not allowed to go above 100. A Mercedes can go at 280, 300 kilometers an hour. But Kenyan police say 100. So if you are both obedient, nobody will arrive in Nakuru earlier. On the way back, the Mercedes might arrive earlier because on a hill, the Mercedes will be the Vitz. But in Nakuru is downwards. We arrive at the same time. So if what you are asking God to give you is transport, then even when you have a Vitz, so you have transport. And literally, you got your Vitz at 1 million. The Mercedes got at 10 million. And both of you arrive in Nakuru at the same time. Who is wasting money? I hope you are getting the point. So you need to understand when you start thinking about the reality. What do I need? I need transport. God, give me transport. You know you'll be very happy. Because He has actually answered your prayer. But once you have that one, you have another problem. It's exactly the same with the food. You can eat a balanced diet, totally balanced diet, depending on whatever money you have. Just and say what it means, you shall not be in want. Are you aware that I did my Form 4 45, 46, 47 years ago. So, and that's the last time I touched biology. But I think there was something about, there was starch. Which were the foods in the balanced diet? There was starch, protein, vitamin, carbohydrates and starch. Hey, you went to school after me. So, let me tell you, let's pick protein for example. Because if you don't want to get sick, you must eat protein. A balanced diet, protein. But you know, if you don't have a lot of money, just go to the compa, have a bag of beans, and they'll keep you for several months. And when you eat it, what is your body getting? Protein. When you get richer, you can decide not to eat beans and eat meat. But unfortunately, when you eat meat, it will be at 3 times the cost of the beans. Am I right? Unfortunately, when you get the meat in the stomach works on it, and the cells only take the protein out. When you get the protein from beans, or you get the protein from meat, as far as the body is concerned, what it got was protein. I'm getting my point. So that the one who eats beans that is not less balanced than the one who eats meat. If you get richer, then you leave alone meat. You go for white meat. That's the time you are able to differentiate between red meat and white meat. Unfortunately, when you have eaten your chicken and it is worked on, the cells will get. I'm not communicating. So that when God has given you enough to buy beans, you live a balance. And actually, I'm not an expert in that area, but I'm told the ones who eat proteins from beans have better health than the ones who get it from meat. Have you heard of that? Maybe you can pick starch, isn't it? If you don't have a lot of money, just go to the Koba again and buy unga, maize first, Then there is out there is something that in Asaka Karigalinga, you know the things that what they tell me if you get unga from that, it's a balance, it's a whole meal. Instead of buying jogo where they have removed some parts. And if you buy the maize, you go there, you give them, they'll produce sugar for you, you can eat for your breakfast porridge every morning. And your body has starch. Am I communicating? If you get rich, buy bread. But when the bread is worked on, the cells will only get starch. If you get rich, buy Weetabix. But after it is worked on, it is... Am I communicating?
Yes.
When you get the real facts, you can be contented at any level. Am I communicating?
Yes.
In fact, when you get more money, you'll be less healthy than the one who has more money. But you see, these are the things that are causing people to have a big mountain out of something very small. Because all it needs is the way you look at it. And once you look at it, for example, my friend, you are over 30 and you still haven't found anybody to marry, my brother. Don't worry. It needs to be understood very clearly. The reason you haven't found somebody to marry is not because you are ugly. It is simply it's not time yet. Are we together?
Yes.
Because there's something Wazungu say, beauty is in the eye of the
beholder.
Yeah. So all you have the problem is the beholder has not arrived. When they arrive, you have a problem. Have you noticed something very interesting? Sometimes you look, especially now us in our 60s, you look at me, you look at my wife, and wonder, did this girl know this guy? How could such a beautiful girl marry such an ugly man? Now, what you don't know is that my wife was not marrying an ugly person because was marrying the person who lives inside the Nganga. Nganga is not this. This body of Nganga. Nganga is inside. And anybody clever never marries the body. You marry the person who is inside. And it's when you talk to the guy, you realize the nose may be too long, but the person inside is somebody that is very wonderful. Now, once you start understanding that you're a good person, irrespective of the size of nose, you start being satisfied. Am I communicating? You don't sit there being worried. And I thought a lot of the giants you are dealing with in life have to do with your attitude and your understanding of yourself. It's my prayer and hope that as you talk about this and you go into next year, you start now analyzing the things you call giants and find out whether they truly are giants. Because the problem is the children of Israel, when they sent 12 spies to see the Canaanites, when they came back, 10 guys say, before them, we were like grasshoppers. Did they talk to them? No. They just watched them. They were spying. And they realized their size and the Anakite size, they were so small, so they started making it, and I think that's what Tony was saying. They started looking at themselves like grasshoppers before giants. Could they go to fight? No. So, and the problem was not the size of the Anakites. The problem was their idea about the Anakites and the idea about themselves. So what is it you are looking? You are always thinking of comparing yourself with others and thinking there's something wrong with you. I think that's one of the things that we will need to deal with. So, what is it that you are in want? What exactly are you in want in? I think you need to start asking, am I really in want? Whatever it is that you think you are in want about. I was sharing with Pauline how my brother died June this year. I just rang, I'm from Nyadaro, I was just rang and told that he had collapsed in the office and was rushed to our nearest big hospital. So we rang and tried to transfer him here in Nairobi, where there is an ICU because it was stroke. But that was Tuesday, I think he was here, I think by Thursday. By Friday night, I went to see him, and he was talking to me. I was rang Saturday morning. The hospital, the way they ring you, I don't tell you details. But I said I was doing a seminar in Embu. I'm far away in Thika. That was around 6 something, but I had already gone because I was supposed to be in Embu by 8 o'clock because I wanted to finish with the seminar and come back to see him in the afternoon. And they started saying, you need to come. They said, tell me the truth. They said he had died. And I thought, what? He only got sick on Tuesday. How can he go so quickly? And it is in that turmoil of thinking about my sister-in-law and my brother's children, and some are adults, some are still in somebody in the university and another in high school, and I thought, wow, how can he die so suddenly? And it was when I was struggling with the idea of he has died suddenly that I remembered my mother, who died not too long ago, had cancer for 2 years, went through a lot of pain. When she finally died, after we have tried everything, I said, God, if you are taking her, why didn't you take her earlier? Then you not have suffered so long. Now God answered my prayer. Now I'm complaining again. I'm getting it in my brother's case. He died so quickly, there was no time to suffer. I'm getting my point. He struck on Tuesday. By Friday night he is gone. And the Lord has said, can you see what's wrong with our attitude? My mother dies after 2 years of cancer. I am quarreling God. How can she suffer so long and still die? My brother dies quickly without suffering. I argue, sure, you should give her enough time to acclimatize. In other words, I'm praying my brother should have suffered. Is that friendly? That I would want my brother to stay long as a cabbage after the stroke, suffer enough so that we prepare. Sure, isn't that selfish? That you want somebody else to suffer. Are you getting the point of your attitude can mess you up? Whatever, it doesn't matter what happens. What happens is not the problem, it's your attitude to what happens. Who you are is not the problem, it's your attitude to who you are. What problem you are facing is not the problem, if that is English. It is how you look at the problem. And that's really what I'm trying to emphasize. Psalms 84 verse 11 says, for the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does he withhold from those whose walk is blameless. O Lord Almighty, blessed is the man who trusts in you. Let me just repeat that. No good thing does he withhold from those whose walk is blameless. In other words, and that's what I put in my card when I got married in the late 1970s. I put there, if you see me without something, it's because it's not good for me. See, that's a promise. If it is good, he will not withhold. If he is withholding, it cannot be. Otherwise, the verse is not true. So you need to understand that there are things that are good for Nganga, but not good for Atieno. And there are things good for Atieno, necessarily good for Nganga. But because we want to be average, we want to be like everybody else, we don't enjoy our lives. When we stop comparing ourselves with others, it is something that will certainly help us in a big way. When I went to high school, our Muzungu headmaster had a policy. Unfortunately, no school has copied it. The last time I ever saw my position in class was when I did my KPE. Nowadays it was called KPE. That was the last time I ever heard of my position in class. Because when we went to Form 1, this Muzungu said, do not compare yourself with others. Compare yourself with yourself. He reorganized the report form. He put the first column will be the terms, continuous assessment. The second one will be the test, end of term test. The third one was comparison between this term and last. And then he wrote to the parents, told them, don't worry about the first two columns. Just concentrate on the third. If somebody has a B and previously he had an A, you should be worried. He has been started on his way down and you have no idea where he will go. If somebody has a D and has now gotten a C, on improvement you'll get an A, isn't it? And so parents, don't quarrel the person with a C, quarrel the one with a B. Because the one with a B is on the way down. The one with a C is on the way up. And it will not matter whether they compare with others. They are comparing against themselves. And that's something I learned, and it has really helped me. That was in the 1960s in our high school. And it has really helped me. You know, somebody might argue, if you don't keep comparing yourself with others, there will be a problem. Wasn't it a surprise when our result of Form 4 came out? And Mr. Kabaka will tell you that when it came out, it used to appear in the Nation. Oh, the result for Form 4 would be the Nation newspaper. So you can't hide it because the whole village will see unless you hide your name. So some boys used to change their names because they know the village will see the results. To my surprise, out of a class of 105, I was in the top 5. And yet I never knew I was clever, because basically I'm not given a chance to compare myself with. All I see is my struggle. And struggling to become better every time. And I don't think I'm better. You need to understand that if you stop comparison with others, you'll become far much better. Comparison does three things. Number one, when you compare yourself with somebody not as good as you, you relax and not improve. Is that true? Yes. Yeah. There are many people in this company who don't improve because they are the best. Now, if you are working with the mediocre people and you are the best, you are still mediocre. Am I communicating? Yes. So there is no need of comparing yourself with mediocre people. If you compare yourself with yourself, you will be improving continuously, irrespective. And that's what used to happen. When you were in those days, you used to call them Harambee schools. And in Harambee school, the best person will get at that division. Then your Pichard somebody just appears as a first division. Because he was not comparing himself with others. So it's important to ask yourself, have you gotten to understand that you can become your best without saying whether you are better than others? Because you can always improve on yourself. And that thing has helped me in life, understanding. And even I got 3 children, and I told them, when you get the position in class, because they don't follow our system, they get position in class, I'll never give you a prize for becoming number 1. I'll give you a prize for improving. Because you see, if you have a clever child, your IQ is high, you always become a number 1. Even if do you have children like that who don't work hard and always become number 1? Who should get that prize? God. Because they are not working hard. It is God who made them clever, but they are not working hard. Those are the type of people who come to work in Pacific. And because they don't work hard, they easily pass. Only to come in Pacific, you have to learn new things. You start thinking, but this guy was first class honors. How come he is not performing well? Other people are promoted with just a pass because he never learned that what matters is not your IQ. It is your ability to work hard. Am I communicating? And it's important to understand. So I told my children, well, since your teachers don't do it, every time you finish a term, we would sit together and work out percentage improvement. Now that meant even if you are the worst of the 3, as long as your improvement was the highest, you got the highest prize. Because what you want to train people on is to do their best, not to beat other people. That's why I was so happy with Kiapi when he banned comparing schools. Because they are useless thing. Private schools end up faking it, isn't it? And do you know there are many private people where the children are kept in standard 5 forever. Because they don't want them to reach standard 8 and follow their grades. I know, surely, it's criminal. But it all comes from something that made us think of always comparing ourselves with others. Instead of comparing ourselves with ourselves. And that's why when we started performance management in Fast 3 and in Pacific, we said, don't worry, we are not going to compare people. You have your own target, you meet it. So it doesn't matter whether the other person meets or not. It's a personal target. And so you keep the other person. No, you are the one who agreed with your supervisor exactly what you are to achieve. Did you achieve it? But people start saying, but I'm better than so and so. That's not the subject. Did you meet your target? Are we together? And if everybody works to meet their target, do you know the whole company will go up? That's really what we are talking about, and my hope is that I am communicating. So when you talk about thou shalt not be in want, is that you learn how to deal with yourself the way you are, and it will help you. Verse 2 says, he makes me lie down in green pastures. Now, when I read that, he makes me lie. Do I need? Surely, when you go to a green pasture and you are a cow, that would be exciting, isn't it? But the verse seems to imply that you need God's help to handle green pastures. He helped me to lie in green pastures. And this is why I now talk about the dangers of success. Many people who end up a mess are people who succeeded early in life. Many people who are brought up with a silver spoon, is that what they call it? Do you know they end up not performing well in life? Somehow, success makes you unable to cope. If you think being poor is a problem, try being rich. Many children of rich people are the drug addicts. Have you seen that? And it can be a real problem. Another time we were in a group, we do Bible study with the neighbors, and one of my friends who was older than me a few years ago told me, you need to pray for me. I said, for why? I sent my son to Britain. He did an MBA, came back. He's now employed by the bank. But he refused in the house. Because he can see at his salary, he will go to his lands. But he says, I grew up in this side of the city. I can't go. So, and then because he had a girlfriend, the father started fearing he might marry in his house. So he said, please pray him out. So we said, I hope there's nobody who needs prayers. But you need to understand there is a problem somewhere. The guy has a good job, good education, but he can't enjoy it. Why? He mistakes his father's wealth as if it is his. Do you know there are even people who can't go to work unless they are given a car? But their salary cannot support a car. So even if the father gives him a free car, the father would have to fuel it. So there are many people who are not able to handle wonderful things. Maybe for you, your problem is not lack of girlfriends. It's just they come every direction. You are like honey and bee. Now, and it can be a real problem because you start thinking that there's something special about you. What do you do in the process? You start playing around with the girls. When it is time to marry, nobody wants you. Why? You learned how to misuse the girls, and then you want to approach them again. They dumped you. They don't want to have anything with you. And why did that happen? Because you learned you are special. That has happened to many beautiful girls, isn't it? They refuse until now they are refused. Now I'll get to the point. And it has to do with God has given them green pastures. But he has not made them to know how to lie in green pastures. And that may be the problem. Maybe you came to Pacific and your salary was doubled. And so you start being unable to handle the higher salary. Because you don't know how to lie on green pastures. So a lot of the giants we are talking about are not problematic. They are simply success and good things that are happening. I want to finish there. And pray to God that the few things we have shared, you look at whether your giants are problems or your giants are success, and ask yourself, how am I handling it? And please understand, you can have problems because of success, and you can have problems because of challenges. It doesn't matter which comes. You can, like we are going to see later, but I've run out of time, He can even take you through the valley of the shadow of death. And you'll still be okay. He says, even if I go through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll be okay. Why? You are with me, even inside the valley. So you need to come to where there is absolutely nothing that can happen to you that will make it steal away your joy. Whatever it is. Like when my brother died and I was about to be shaken. Once I stood back and started thinking about it, I was able to accept it. Able to deal with the funeral and able to encourage other people because you have changed. And it's important to ask yourself, what are the things that you are going through? Maybe it's your husband who has become Kijuagumu. Now, you need to understand whatever it is. If you start approaching it with the right way, there'll be a solution. When you start making him an enemy, you will fight as enemies, isn't it? Inside the same house. There is something you can do, and I don't have enough time to deal with it. So my hope is, as you look at the last year, and there are many giants that have come, please understand the giants could be the success you had, which might set you for failure. Or there may be challenges that you got that are going, because of that you feel dejected, you are unable to face 2018. Thank you very much. You can open the door.
Thank you, Mr. Nanga. I think now we're getting a lot. One now to hear from our chairman. From what we've heard, we know he's going to wrap it very well.